Good morning. It's Jane with Scraptasticyarns, and today is Tuesday, the 22nd, I think. Come to the point I don't even know what day it is. It has been a week. Last week, after I came home from my embroidery class, I get home and my husband said, "I'm telling you now, there's no TV." I said, "Okay." He goes, "No, TV's gone. It died." Well, that morning the power had gone out. Okay? I was sitting here drinking my coffee, doing some things administrative stuff that I needed to do. And you heard this big boom about 7:30 and the power went out. I didn't think anything of it. I left at 8:20. The power still wasn't on. Okay, he'll be on by the time I get back home. It was. And Thomas told me that when I came in, he said the TV on its last legs. Well, we've had this TV for 13 or 14 years. Anyway, we knew it was going to go eventually. I mean, with today's products, you're lucky if you can get 7 years out of TV. We got actually 13 or 14. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. He goes, "Well, found the TV I like at Best Buy." He said, "But I have class this afternoon. I have a Zoom meeting." Okay. All right. No big deal. And then I remember Best Buy closes at 6 because of the Roni thing. And he says, "And we need to dispose of the other TV too." I'm like, okay, not a big deal. I'm going to go upstairs and cut some bags and cut some masks. You can go do all that. He has no clue where to take the old TV. I've been the one that have taken smaller TVs that died and that kind of thing. So I had to go with him so I could drive into the waste management to get rid of our TV. Well, waste management, normally you go in the office, pay your money, get your slip that says, yes, you paid your $25 fee to dispose of the TV. And then you go out and you drive over to the little bin where they're at and put your TV in there with a remote or whatever, no big deal. Well, the office lobby was closed, so you have to drive up onto the scales to the drive-up window that the drivers normally use. Okay. Get up there. Takes the gal about 5 minutes to come to the window. Takes the money, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't like driving on the scales because the way that the waste management is here, they have a scale going this way into the dump for the trucks that are dropping off loads and one coming out on the scales. So you have to stop at both scales if you're a truck. But beside that is a road that the regular people that are dropping off, waste management, the garbage men, they don't have to get on the scales. They just drive straight through. And they're driving balls to the wall, It's dirt road. So we finish. We pull out. There's a truck that's pulled in on the other scale. We're going this way. We've got to turn this way, come back around to get to the bin. And you can't see what's coming this way towards you as you're going around that other truck. We almost got creamed by a big, garbage truck flying through there. Because you have to pull out far enough to where you're going to get hit. I mean, there's no way around it. So luckily, the garbage guy saw that we were pulling off the scale and realized that we couldn't see around the other truck. So he was slowing down as we scooted around because it's just a bad setup when they do it that way. The other way you can see both ways because you're actually in front of the scales so you can see what's coming and going. But And then we went to Best Buy. Best Buy's locked up tight, man. You walk in the door, they've got all this tape across the thing. They stop you and they ask you, what can we do for you today? Well, we need to get a new TV. So they grab somebody and have them walk you back 6 feet apart from you now. Well, we pretty much knew what we wanted. So, the guy's trying to talk us into this different TV or this different TV, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. And then he showed us the TV and was explaining that the TV that Thomas had looked at was last year's model. This one is this year's model, blah, blah, blah. So we get this year's model. And then before we leave, since I like those senior discounts, I said, do you have a senior discount? The look on that kid's face was funny. He's like, I don't know. So he goes to ask his supervisor. And she says, no, unfortunately, we don't. And I said to her, well, you should think about it. Because us old cronies would buy more stuff from you. She goes, I'll pass that on. So, we get through doing all that. By the time we get home, I've not had time to cut bags or masks. And I'm thinking, okay, it's no big deal. I'll just do it tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon. That didn't happen either. Which, I know that being the person that heads up the breast prosthesis program, there are times I'm going to get called out and I have to go out and deliver or discuss something with, the patient so that I can help them understand how to use it or whatever. I have no problem with that. So that's what I had to do Wednesday afternoon. Of course, Wednesday morning is laundry morning. So I'm doing that. And in between, I'm taking, 15, 20 minutes here to film this, to film that. As it is, I'm just getting up early for the Bible readings, which is no big deal. I have no problem with that. That was the schedule I was on before this whole thing happened. And I got used to sleeping till 8:30. So then Thursday, I'm like, all right. And the way that I plan my days is I film the Bible reading. I start to upload it, and while I'm uploading it, I'm doing whatever I need to do in the kitchen and that area, cleaning it up, whatnot, organizing things. And of course, our church in October is having a garage sale. So this week, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get rid of stuff we haven't used in, I don't know, 9, 10, 12 years. Things like the deep fryer. Haven't used that 12 years. Haven't used the French fry cutter in 14 years. So, I'm pulling these things, setting them aside. And then in the meantime, I have to reorganize things, because I have the mind of ADD. Get distracted. So Thursday afternoon at lunch, I'm like, okay, well, I need to go do this. But I hear the kid next door. And I say kid because it's a young black family that live next door. And the young kid is from New York. And he's led a very sheltered life because he just learned to drive about a month and a half ago. And got his first vehicle. And when he was over at Dunkin' Donuts, he had accidentally locked the keys in the car. And instead of calling, like a tow truck or a locksmith who could open it, he listened to the fire department and said, well, yeah, we can break the window and get your keys out. So they broke his window, and he hasn't had the window fixed yet. We've had some pretty heavy rains. We're out there one day, it was raining, and it's driver's side window, and it's open, and so I have trash bags in the back that I have used for hauling yarn to the church. So I took one of those and opened up his door and slipped it over the door for him. And I heard him yelling. And I thought, what's going on? And they have a young daughter that's about maybe 3 or 4. So I go outside, and his mother has come to visit. He's out there yelling, what do I do? What do I do? And I, what's going on? He said, my mother's having a heart attack. What do I do? What do I do? I said, let's call 911. Let's get her to the hospital. Now, our hospital recently had a fire. And in the area where the fire actually was, they used the fire retardant to go down into that tunnel. And it had a chemical reaction with whatever they were working with. So our hospital is shut down. Emergency room, the whole 9 yards. And they have to do a major cleanup because of the chemical reaction. So, they have men that are going in hazmat suits and cleaning up everything. The surgical units, everything has to be cleaned because of the reaction that happened. So all the patients were moved safely, and we can't go to the emergency room. We have to travel about 20 minutes away to either the Geisinger Hospital or go into Williamsport, which is about 35 minutes, 40 minutes away. So, this kid's freaking out. We get the ambulance there and working with him. And, he said, well, can I ride with her? And they said, no, sir, you can't. Well, this kid's freaking out. I can't drive. Now, mind you, his wife, I don't know where she was. She was either at work or whatever, and the small child was gone, which is fine. So I said to him, I'll take you. Don't worry about it. Let's go. Let's get in the car. I'll take you. I'll sit outside in the car and wait for you. And you can just let me know by phone what's going on. So I took some crochet with me. Sat out in the car while he and his mother were in there. And luckily it was not a heart attack. It's just her blood pressure had shot sky high. And one of the things with when your blood pressure is sky high, you have chest pain. So she thought she was actually having a heart attack, and she wasn't. And so I waited, and they released her, and I got home. So that afternoon shot. So Friday, I think, well, it's no big deal. I can cut and do whatever. No. Got called out to do something else with somebody else my husband volunteered me for. So, it's just been a week. So I'm thinking, all right, fine. I'll get to be able to sew Saturday afternoon after we get our groceries. I've got things cut. I'm ready to sew. I start to sew. And my machine starts acting funky again. Now, I have talked to them about it. It's a Bernina. It's my other car. I have talked to them, and the reason it's called my other car is because it's the price of a car. In fact, it was higher price car than my actual car. So, I'm talking with them. I said, I'm telling you, this is a lemon. I get it fixed, I come home, start to sew, and then it starts doing something else. And I'm like, it's the computer. I'm positive it's the computer. So it's in the shop. I can't get it until tomorrow afternoon. So I can't sew until Thursday or Friday. And I have bags cut. And Terry, I have your mask in your bag. They're first, ready to go. In fact, it was your mask I was working on. But this is the Amazing Grace fabric that I did turn into a mask. Now, this is my mask because I always like to work it up to see if there's going to be any issues. And of course, the issue is you're not going to be able to line up the cross properly because with the boning that's in here that keeps it away from your mouth. You use a French seam for that. So you do add a little bit of extra material to do that. You don't have to, but I found that it's easier to just add about a 1/16 of an inch to the mask and then to do that. And of course, this is the Olson pattern that has the pocket in it. Now, I don't always use the same fabric for the pocket, but because the Olson mask takes up, it actually, you get less mileage out of your fabric with an Olson mask than you do a pleated mask. So, I'm probably going to be able to get, and I did cut 6, and I think I have 2 more that I can get out of part of that fabric, and the other fabric has been cut for bags. So, I'm probably get maybe 6, 8 masks out of it, and then I'll use a different fabric on the interior than the regular. But that little piece was left over. I couldn't find, a way to set it up because it is directional and you have to be careful with the directional. So there I sit, and then, it's been cold. So my husband decides this morning, turn the heat on down here, which means I have to go over here to Chairzilla and clean out. I don't know, it's getting crazy. It's really screwing with my days. But that's okay, we'll get through this, right? It's just another setback. It'll be okay. But the thing that I worked on while I was in the hospital waiting area was, parking lot, was the Easy Pocket Shawl by Pam of Pamela's Adoring Crochet. This pattern is so easy, so quick. I love it. And it does have a 4-row repeat. And the easiest thing about this, with the 4-row repeat, once you get the 1 repeat down, you don't have to go back and look because you already know what the rest of it is till you get your full repeats done. And this is it. This is done in purple, although it looks blue. Now, you'll notice I did not add fringe, and I will tell you why I did not add fringe. The reason I did not add fringe is because the nursing homes, the hospitals, ask us not to use fringe because wheelchairs, those kind of things, so we don't. And walkers, because it can really get wrapped around a walker, although you don't think it can. But look at that stitch pattern. It is gorgeous. Easy, loved it, quick. But it does call for fringe, and the fringe looks absolutely gorgeous on it. It's just because that's where most of my items, finished items, go. It's not feasible to put the fringe on, so I didn't put the fringe. I am thinking about maybe adding a half double crochet along both of the bottoms. And I don't know where the yarn is. What I used was Red Heart with Love, and I believe it was in, it's not amethyst. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But it was, this was some of the yarn that was on sale over at Deal Genius, where you got a pack of 3 for $4. So I got quite a bit of that. Some of it went to Prayer Shawl, and some of it went to me because I like the color purple. So that's what I did with that. And yeah, it's just a very easy pattern to do. So check it out. It's over at Pamela's Adoring Crochet. I will leave the link down below. And she has a tutorial. That's the link I will leave to. That is online. And of course her tutorial is free. You just watch and do. But of course her patterns are like $1.99. And if you sign up for her newsletter, she normally sends a code for you to get patterns, like maybe 40-50 cents off. So do it, folks. It's well worth it. And Pamela, thank you for your generous offer um, of the pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. Absolutely love it. I need to get my husband to help me take some pictures, though, of it. I have about half an inch of this to go before I start the actual hood part of that pattern. And of course, this is the pattern for the Mary Maxim knit by Louisa Harding. And it is a stunning pattern. And this yarn is absolutely gorgeous. And quite honestly, I'm not giving this one up. So this one I'm keeping. That's all there is to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I have a lot of things I need to do this afternoon. So it should be interesting. I would like to work more on my knitting crochet while I don't have a sewing machine to work with. I could stop over at the fire hall and ask him to give me that I have an old brother that I use at the senior center to use, but I don't really like working with it. I just use it because when we're at the senior center, basically we're just sewing straight seams, putting quilt pieces together. And it's fine for that, but I don't like it for doing the mask and everything else. Because when I do the mask, I do an overcast stitch that goes around the edge. So there's less fraying and those kind of issues. Can't do that with this one. And it's hard to use. It doesn't have a 1/4 foot seam foot on it. So I have tape on the bed of the machine for that. So I don't think I'm going to bother with that. I'll just do the chores I need to do here first. And back there you can see the knit crate that I got this month. And since it has so much alpaca in it, I'm thinking about doing it as a giveaway. I haven't decided when or how I'm going to do that. I may just do it based on comments or pull a video, random video, that kind of thing. So that's what's going on here. And it's crazy. Okay. Now are you ready for a little bit of what in tarnation? I mean, I've given you a lot of stuff today. It has nothing to do with what in tarnation or knitting crochet. But it's life, right? Okay, what in tarnation? Now this first story, I don't like the story, but I'm going to read it anyway, and there's video. And I'll tell you after I read it what I don't like about it. 6-month-old baby goes water skiing in Utah. A Utah couple said their son broke an unofficial world record by going water skiing at the age of 6 months and 4 days. Casey and Mindy Humphreys posted a video to Instagram showing their son Rich water skiing at Lake Powell. I went water skiing for my 6-month birthday. Apparently that's a big deal. Hashtag world record. The photo caption reads, the previous unofficial world record for the youngest water skier was set by Auburn Absher, who tackled the sport at the age of 6 months, 10 days. What the heck are you thinking? Now, granted, the boat is right next to it, the mother's right next to the baby. It's in some type of harness for the ski. But how dangerous is that? For a world record? Yeah. My motherly instincts say that was not a good idea. Or maybe my grandmotherly instincts, I don't know. Next story is a good, feel-good story. Humpback whale escapes crocodile-infested river after 17 days. Can you imagine what that whale went through? Officials with an Australian national park said a humpback whale has found its way back to open waters after 2 weeks stranded in a crocodile-infested river. Kakadu National Park said a group of marine ecologists fishing in the East Alligator River on September 2nd spotted 3 humpback whales that had apparently gotten disoriented while migrating and ended up in the river. And that happens a lot. Happens on the Mississippi. 2 of the whales found their way back out of the river before long, but the third spent 17 days avoiding confrontations with the river's crocodile population before finding the way back out to Van Diamond Gulf. The whale made its way out on the high tides of this weekend, and we're pleased it appeared to be in good condition and not suffering any ill effects. Feach Moyle, manager of Kakadu National Park's Country and Culture section, said in a post on the park's Facebook page. Researchers said the 3 humpbacks are the first of their species to ever be spotted in the East Alligator River. There is video. It's about 2.5 minutes. It's a beautiful video, but who doesn't like watching whales? I do. One of these days, I'd love to be able to go to one of those whale watching things out on the ocean, even though I'm scared to death of the ocean. So, this next story, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video, but if not, there's a link to the video. Ohio dad invents candy chute for touch-free trick-or-treating. An Ohio dad's ingenuity is drawing attention online after he unveiled his Halloween invention, a candy chute for touch-free trick-or-treating. Andrew Beatty of Cincinnati said he and his 6-year-old daughter came up with the candy chute idea as a means of dispensing Halloween candy while social distancing and keeping the potential spread of germs to a minimum. We took a tube from an Amazon package and got out the spray paint and the duct tape, Beatty told Today Parents. The 6-foot tube was affixed to Beatty's front porch handrail, creating a chute for handing out candy. This will be a completely touch-free experience for trick-or-treaters, Beatty wrote in a Facebook post. There will be a sign at the bottom of the tube showing them where to hold their bags and buckets so candy can drop right in. Beatty said the candy will all be factory sealed and he will be wearing gloves that he plans to change frequently to prevent the possibility of spreading germs. Very bright idea. However, Mr. Beatty, so many communities are canceling Halloween trick-or-treating, and you can understand why. So, hopefully, in your neighborhood, there'll be some rebels and come around for some candy. Wildlife officials. That Tennessee tiger that we keep talking about now for 2 weeks, 3rd week. Tennessee tiger, likely a native bobcat. Really? Wildlife officials in Tennessee said they now believe reports of a tiger on the loose in the Knoxville area are the result of mistaken identity. Perhaps people have been taking drugs when they saw the tiger, or too much alcohol. I mean, I can tell the difference between a bobcat and a tiger. Can't you? The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency said the latest in a string of reports of a loose tiger wandering the Knoxville area took place this week in the Kingsport area. An officer arrived at the location of the sighting and determined the animal, which was still on the scene, was actually a bobcat. Barry Cross of TWRA said officials now believe similar errors were to the blame for the last week's reporting sightings, which included a 911 call from an off-duty Knox County Sheriff's Office deputy. Taking everything into consideration, the lack of new sightings, and the conditions of the first sighting was reported in, it seems highly unlikely that there is a big non-native cat on the loose. And there's a video, or a link to the story. Bobcats are smaller than tigers, usually. That's why they're called bobcats. They have a little bobtail. Tigers don't normally have a bobtail. I've never seen a bobcat that has stripes. Just saying. And you never know. People are strange. You know, they get all these kind of exotic animals thinking, oh, I love animals. I love tigers. I want a pet tiger. I mean, look at Michael Jackson. The menagerie he had. Okay, this next one's rather funny. Florida's new welcome sign erected in the wrong city. I wonder who did that? A new sign welcoming travelers to a Florida city is drawing attention and raising controversy for an unusual reason. It's in the wrong city. Clive Tyler, a Hollywood activist and vice president of the Hollywood Historical Society, sent an email to officials this week when he saw the new "Welcome to Dania Beach" sign on a road median that is securely within the Hollywood city limits. The new sign replaced an older, smaller sign bearing a similar message. The little sign was bad enough, Taylor told the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. It should have never been there in the first place, but to have Dania put up the mini billboard with lights on it's wrong. It's wrong. It says welcome to Dania Beach, and you're not even in Dania Beach. Dania Beach City Manager Anna Garcia confirmed she has been in contact with her counterpart in Hollywood about the issue. City manager from Hollywood contacted me yesterday. We have a great relationship, she told WPLG-TV. He said, I want to let you know that one of my residents is reaching out to let me know. They were appalled that these new signs were installed in Hollywood. She said the complaint is under investigation. It just came to my attention yesterday, and we have been nonstop researching and having our legal team looking into it, Garcia said. City of Hollywood spokesman Joanne Hussey said the two cities are working together on a solution. It is absolutely amicable. On social media, people can be passionate. Really? Hussey said, there are areas where it can be confusing, so we're working with the city of Dania to have the sign moved to the proper location. Well, the little sign has been there for years. What's the big hoopla? I guess it's because of the lights that are on it. Now this next one, some of you who are not fans of the Trumps are not going to enjoy this story, so close your ears. Wooden Melania Trump statue replaced with a bronze after arson. A wooden statue of Melania Trump that was damaged by an arsonist in July has been replaced by a bronze version near the First Lady's hometown in Slovenia. Brad Downey, the artist who originally commissioned conceptual artist Ailes Supovic aka Maxie, to construct the wooden version of the sculpture near Melania Trump's hometown of Slovenica. You know, those names are hard to pronounce. Unveiled the bronze upgrade Tuesday. Maxie was not involved in the construction of the bronze version of his piece, but attended and participated in the unveiling. The damaged wooden version of the sculpture is currently part of an art exhibition in Kroper, Slovenia. Downey said he has not allowed anyone to photograph the burned version because he does not want it to become a part of the discourse about monuments in the United States. Good decision. I removed it quickly so it didn't enter a dark narrative, he told CNN. Downey denied speculation that he was involved in the arson incident. I didn't think it was a good ending for the artwork. I didn't think it was a good ending for the community, he said of the arson incident. Downey had earlier said the wooden sculpture was designed as a critique of the anti-immigration narrative from President Donald Trump's administration. He said the installation highlighted the contradiction between the administration's stance on immigration, while the president is married to an immigrant whose first language was not English. Well, it sure sounds he was involved in the discourse in the United States to begin with. So, thrill ride passenger nearly collides with bears on track. Bears are going to be bears. A witness at Tennessee theme park captured video of a moment a passenger on a thrill ride nearly collided with a family of bears wandering across the track. Eric Sumbrun, 58, said he was on the Rail Runner ride at the Anarchista theme park in Gatlinburg when he spotted the mother bear and two cubs preparing to cross the track up ahead. First thing I thought was, can I stop this thing? Sumbrun told the Chattanooga Times Free Press. The next thing I thought was, can I get out of this thing? The answer to both questions was no. But Sumbrun breathed a sigh of relief when the bears crossed the track before he came speeding through. The near miss was caught on video by a witness who posted the footage to TikTok. A Tennessee Wildlife Resources Association representative said there are no laws requiring the park to put up wildlife barriers. And that is it for What in Tarnation. That could have been disastrous if that thing had hit, the baby bear or even the mother bear. For both the bears and the man that was in the ride. So perhaps they should think about putting up a wildlife barrier, at least for that ride. But bears will be bears, and they will still climb the fences as well. So that's it for today. Everybody choose a little kindness. And light some candles and prayers for America, because apparently it's gonna get ugly in the next couple of months. Just pray Democrats don't actually follow through and destroy America, burning down buildings and things. The stupidity on the left and the right is astounding at times. Oh well, I'm going to try to practice a little kindness today. So far it's not working. Everybody have a great day. Bye.